welcome page of the NetView Business Client offers direct access to personally defined gadgets, links and transactions. Dashboards can also easily be integrated. This business scenario addresses a project cycle where the services to be rendered is built based on the actual work performed. The sales document in the form of a contract with the customer is the focal point of the process, as it formalizes the customer's requirements and is the basis for generating billable time, material, and expenses. The project manager will create the project with a project structure. That means VBS elements, activities, budget, milestones, and also allocate resources. Project manager chooses the resource planning cockpit from the menu. He enters the start date and the department he wants to plan. On the resource planning maintenance screen, all employees of this department are available for planning. He enters the needed data. After entering and saving the data, the consultant is 100% allocated to work on-site with this task represented by the VBS element on the day entered. Planning of absence or internal orders is of course also available. The consultant will report the hours used and the travel expenses related to the project. After returning from the customer, the consultant records his working hours for this day using the cross-application timesheet. In our scenario, the VBS element is the receiver of the working hours. The VBS element collects all the time and costs for an internal review and is the basis for generating invoices based on actual hours. The current assignments are visible in the work list and can be copied to the entry section or entered manually. The timesheet profile and the personnel number is filled automatically from the consultant's user profile. Our consultant attended to a meeting in Oslo for discussing a new project with a potential customer and needs to register trip expenses for reimbursement. He enters the data needed. Since the expenses for parking are not billable, they are allocated directly to his department, represented by the cost center. Other expenditure types are of course also available. It is possible to enter more than one type of expenditure, for example, car rental, hotel, or gasoline. After entering the trip data, the consultant simulates the trip to view his travel expense statement. The trip is saved and is now ready for approval by his manager. In this scenario, we show how the project manager approves the working hours registered on a project. After the consultant has recorded his working hours on the project and registered travel expenses, approval of the project manager is needed. It gives the project manager the possibility to review the costs and working hours before they are transferred to controlling. Since in our scenario only the working hours are invoiced, project manager will not approve the travel expenses, but only the 10 working hours of our consultant. This role describes the finance and HR manager who will invoice, control and transfer costs and income to accounting and follow up invoices, run and pay salaries. After approval of the working hours by the project manager, they will be transferred to the target application by project accounting. The hours are transferred to the VBS element with an internal calculated price per hour. In this step, the costs of the working hours has to be settled from the VBS element to our contract with the customer. This is prerequisite for resource-related billing and is usually done automatically every month before billing. The 10 working hours recorded by our consultant are now visible as billable hours on the contract. By choosing billing request and saving, a billable sales order is automatically created. After removing the billing block, the sales order can be billed. The sales order created as a billing request in our previous scenario is now ready for billing by choosing Sales Billing and Create Billing Document from the menu. From the sales order, billing document for invoicing is automatically created. This role describes the general manager who will follow up on finance and status of deliveries by using KPIs and reports. The due days forecast report sorts customer open items by the number of days in which they are due. The sorted totals of all customers you select are aggregated and displayed on a summary sheet. The data can be shown as a table or, for instance, as a pie chart simultaneously. This project report shows actual costs, revenues on projects. Using the project structure overview report, you can flexibly evaluate the structure of your project according to different criteria. The structure with the key days can be shown graphically, or the project can be displayed as a Gantt chart. These three reports are only a few examples to show you a short glimpse of the various reports available in our professional services solution.